Under the shade of an old oak tree in the family's small garden, the morning sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting sparkling streaks of light onto the lush green lawn. Little Mai, a 4-year-old girl with long golden hair tied up high, was sitting on the grass, her eyes sparkling with joy. Next to her was Mitt, a 3-month-old golden retriever puppy with soft golden fur and round, curious eyes. Today was a special day because Mai had decided to make a small wooden house with her own hands, a gift for Mitt, her best friend. Mai held a small wooden hammer in her hand, carefully tapping each stroke on the piece of wood. Wood scraps and tools were scattered around, but the little girl was not confused. To Mai, this was not just a wooden house, but a dream of a place where she and Mitt could play together and share the little secrets of their childhood. Mitt sat beside her, head tilted, looking at Mai with curious eyes. Occasionally, the puppy barked a few woof-woof sounds as if to cheer her up. Mai smiled, turned to pet Mitt's head. "Just wait a little longer, Mitt. I will make you a beautiful house." Mai had been preparing for this day for a long time. She had spent the whole week drawing the blueprint for the wooden house, a scribble drawing with colorful pencil strokes. She had asked her father for leftover pieces of wood from the carpentry shop, and her mother had helped her find a small wooden hammer that fit her hand. Mai wanted to do everything herself because she believed that a gift made by her own hands would bring Mitt the greatest joy. But things were not as easy as Mai thought. The pieces of wood refused to stay still, and the first nail she tried to hammer in was bent. Mai frowned. Her small hands began to tremble from fatigue. She looked at Mai, saw the puppy still patiently sitting beside her. His eyes seemed to say, "I believe you can do it, Mai." That invisible sentence seemed to give her strength. Mai took a deep breath, wiped the sweat from her forehead, and continued working. Under the gentle sunlight, the sound of hammering rang out steadily, mixed with the chirping of birds on the tree branches. Mitt occasionally ran around, holding a small piece of wood and brought it to Mai, as if he wanted to help her. The puppy's innocent actions made Mai laugh, and all her fatigue seemed to disappear. When the wooden house had begun to take shape, the sky suddenly darkened. Black clouds rolled in from the horizon, carrying with them the sound of thunder. Mai raised her head, her eyes wide with worry. "No, wait, I'm not done yet," the little girl muttered, her voice trembling. The wind started to blow strongly, blowing the small pieces of wood everywhere. Mitt was frightened, snuggled into Mai's arms, barking softly. Mai hugged Mitt tightly, feeling the dog's little heart pounding. She looked at the wooden house, only a few pieces of wood left to complete, and tears began to roll down her cheeks. "I don't want our hard work to be destroyed, Mitt," Mai choked. But then, an idea flashed through her mind. Mai stood up, pulled Mitt, and ran towards the big house. She shouted, "Mom, Dad, help me!" Mai's parents rushed out, saw her and Mitt drenched in the pouring rain. The father quickly lifted the wooden house up, brought it inside, while the mother hugged Mai and Mitt, drying them both. Under the porch, Mai looked at the pouring rain full of regret, but her father smiled, pat her head. "You did very well, Mai. We will finish this house when the rain stops, okay?" Mai nodded, hugged Mitt tightly, feeling the warmth from the puppy spreading in her heart. The rain lasted until late afternoon, but when the first rays of sunlight returned, Mai and Mitt were ready to resume their work. With the help of their father, the wooden house was quickly completed. It was a lovely little house, with a sloping roof and a round window just big enough for Mitt to crawl through. Mai also painted the house with red and yellow flowers, making it look more brilliant than ever. When the house was placed back under the oak tree, Mai and Mitt explored their work together. Mitt happily ran around, barking loudly, then crawled into the small house, sticking his head out to look at Mai with sparkling eyes of happiness. Mai laughed loudly, clapping her hands. "You like it, don't you, Mitt? This is our house." But the most surprising thing happened when Mai sat down next to the wooden house. She discovered something lurking under the oak tree, an old wooden box covered with dirt and sand. Mai dug up the box curiously, and when she opened it, she was stunned. Inside was a yellowed letter, along with a small pretty necklace engraved with the words, "For my best friend." The letter was written by a little girl named Lynn, who used to live in this house many years ago. Lynn said that she'd made this necklace for her dog, but before she could put it on him, her family had to move. Lynn buried the box under the oak tree, hoping that one day a new friend would find it and continue their friendship. Mai read the letter, tears falling silently. She felt Lynn's sadness and hope through each word. Mai turned to look at Mitt, then gently put the necklace on the puppy. "Mitt, from now on, you will be my best friend, and Lynn's too, okay?" Mai whispered. Mitt barked happily, as if in agreement. The small wooden house under the oak tree became the place to keep the most beautiful memories of Mai and Mitt. Every day, the two little friends played together, explored the world together. The necklace that Lynn left behind was like a connecting thread between the past and the present, between friendships that transcended time. Many years later, when Mai grew up, she still kept the small wooden house as a treasure. Mitt was now an adult dog, but his eyes still sparkled with love and loyalty for Mai. Under the oak tree, Mai wrote a new letter, put it in the old wooden box, and buried it under the tree. Her letter read, "Thank you, Lynn, for entrusting this friendship. Mitt and I will cherish it forever." Many years have passed. The old oak tree still stands there, witnessing the changing seasons of sunshine and rain. Mai is now an 18-year-old girl, preparing to enter the university door. Mitt, the dog that was once small, is now a grown dog with shiny golden fur, but its eyes still retain the mischievousness and loyalty of the beginning. The small wooden house under the oak tree has faded with time, but it is still the place that holds Mai's best memories, the bright summer days, the crisp laughter, and the secrets she once whispered to Mai. One autumn afternoon, when the yellow leaves were falling on the grass, Mai decided to return to the old garden before leaving home to start a new journey. She sat down next to the wooden house, her hand gently stroking the worn lines. Mai lay beside her, his head resting on her leg, his eyes half closed as if reminiscing about the past days. Mai smiled, but inside she felt a choking feeling. She knew that when she left, she would not be able to take Mitt with her. In this whole garden, the place that witnessed her childhood would become a distant memory. Mai took the old wooden box out of the oak tree where she had buried it many years ago. Inside was still Lynn's letter, her own letter, and a new item she had prepared, a dried pressed photo of her and Mitt next to the wooden house. Along with a small daisy, Mitt's favorite flower, Mai added a line to her letter, "Mitt and I had such happy years. Thank you, Lynn, and thank you, this garden. If one day someone finds this box, I hope they will continue to write the story of friendship the way Mitt and I did." She carefully placed the box back at the base of the tree, covered it with soil, and whispered, "Wait for a new friend." Mitt barked softly, as if understanding what Mai was doing. She hugged Mitt tightly, tears falling silently. "I will come back, Mitt. Wherever I go, I will always remember you," Mai said, her voice choked. Mitt licked her hand, as if promising that it would always wait. As the sunset fell, Mai stood up, looking at the garden one last time. She knew that no matter how far she went, a part of her heart would always remain here, under the oak tree, next to the small wooden house, and with Mitt, her best friend. I would like to sincerely thank you for taking the time to accompany Mai and Mitt on this emotional journey. Thank you for opening your hearts to feel the joy, the sadness. I hope that this story will bring you a little warmth, a little nostalgia, and a little faith in the good things in life. Thank you!